evening and thanks for joining us. 170 people are missing after a passenger ferry collided with a cargo ship in the Philippines. Now bad weather is hindering the search efforts. The ferry had more than 800 people on board as it sailed into the central port of Cebu. And as Chris Glover reports, it's another tragic reminder of just how dangerous those waters can be.
Stunned survivors make it to port as a ferry carrying 831 passengers sinks to the bottom of the sea. Clutching his 2-year-old daughter, this survivor says it happened so quickly he and his family almost didn't escape. His wife was asleep when the crash happened. She says she thanks God all 3 of them survived. But more than 30 didn't. This survivor doesn't know where his kids are. He says he accidentally let go of his son's hand and he can't find his daughter. Emotions spilled over in the port office as relatives waited for answers. Outside, answers people want, plastered on the walls. This is a list of survivors. Meanwhile, out at sea, divers search inside the sunken ferry for those still missing.
Find out if there are people na trapped dun sa vessel.
The 40-year-old ferry was approaching port when it sank about a kilometer off the island. It collided with a cargo vessel carrying 160,000 liters of petroleum, oil that's now spilling into the sea. The damage to the cargo ship so dramatic, it can be seen from the air.
The damage, I could just imagine.
Initial reports suggest there was a miscommunication between the 2 ships when they were traveling through a narrow channel, but the investigation continues.
Its primary purpose is to gather facts to make sure such an incident doesn't happen again.
These are dangerous seas. Hundreds die here each year on ferries. Those sorrows are felt far from those shores. In Winnipeg, Filipino Hermogenes Soronos remembers a similar tragedy. 6 years ago, his daughter disappeared after a ferry crash off the very same coast. He knows how those waiting to hear the fate of their loved ones are feeling.
What we feel, very sad, we lose our child like this.
His heart breaks for families from this new disaster, waiting for answers they may never get. Chris Glover, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Well, Thunder Bay's first annual Centennial Mountain Bike Race was held today in support of the Arthritis Society. Mike Albanese was there. He has the story.
It was a beautiful day at Centennial Park for the first ever bike race for arthritis. Around 50 cyclists showed their support by entering the 10-hour race. Josh Gillingham spoke about how many people stepped up to work together.
I've had a great team of volunteers from the Arthritis Society, and local companies have really stepped up and helped out. So it actually has been a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. The support locally has been awesome.
Gillingham believes the reason so many people show support is because arthritis is such a common nuisance and everyone will at least know someone affected by it.
Supporting the Arthritis Society I feel is a great cause. One, because I'm going to need help with arthritis in a few years, and everybody knows somebody who is affected by arthritis. It's a pretty rampant issue that we need to deal with.
The riders are truly showing their support by participating in the race alone. With over 10 hours of exercise, the riders are exerting a great deal of energy to help fight arthritis.
It's a very long event. They'll be going through, some of our solo athletes will be going through 7,000 to 10,000 calories today during the event. So eating enough food is a big, big challenge.
The goal of the event was to raise awareness and raise as much money as possible for the society. Gillingham hopes that next year the event can grow and flourish to include more cyclists. Mike Albanese, TBT News.
Well, a bright pink tour bus rolled into town today. They're asking residents to get on board for breast health. The pink tour is part of the Canadian Breast Cancers Initiative to raise awareness about breast cancer screening and risk reduction. The 17-week-long program will make stops in 90 cities across the province. The interactive bus offers residents information about breast cancer screening and what steps to take to reduce the risk of developing breast cancer. Visitors can take fun quizzes, use interactive videos, and record a personal video pledge to sign up for a mammogram. The target population is women aged 40 and over, but everyone's welcome to come aboard. Spokesperson Jennifer Wilson says 1/3 of breast cancers are preventable, and what most people don't know is that only 5 to 10% of all breast cancer cases are hereditary.
Most of them, we don't know the exact causes. They are caused by smoking, drinking, not eating well, not exercising. So we really want to raise awareness about that, and we're reaching out to communities that may not have that information.
The Pink Tour came to Thunder Bay today from Sault Ste. Marie and will be heading to Emo Sunday. The bus will be back in the city again next Saturday at the West Fort Village Street Fair. Well, a family from this region is trying to raise awareness about people affected by Parkinson's disease in remote northern communities. It's a disease that affects over 100,000 Canadians, and every year a super walk is held to help raise funds and awareness about Parkinson's. The family involved is hoping to use that opportunity to encourage change. Howard McKay was diagnosed with Parkinson's 20 years ago. For the first 15 years, he lived at Bearskin Lake First Nation with his wife Jessie as his primary caregiver. Eventually, things got worse, and McKay was given a place at Lakehead Manor back in 2010 so he could get the treatment he needs. Last year, his daughter Sharon got the family involved in the Parkinson's Super Walk. It's an annual fundraiser that happens all across the country. Families hoping to see more support groups and specialists in the area that'll help people in First Nation communities cope with the disease.
Well, I think for me personally, the fact that they struggled so long on their own, and there is a community out there that people who suffer from the same disease, and there's family that are involved in it. Impacts everyone, the family, and I wanted to show everyone that there are people up north who do suffer and struggle with the same disease.
The event raised over $3 million nationally last year. This year's event will take place September 7th at Intercity Shopping Center. Well, a group of Dryden business people will get the chance to have their voices heard as their city looks at ways to become more efficient. A service delivery and operational review will soon begin, mapping out which services will be offered in Dryden in the future and to what extent. Jordan Mullaney has more.
With taxes raised by nearly 20% in the community over the past 2 years, a group of local business owners in Dryden want to be proactive as the city looks to move forward. Norm Bush represents the group that will sit at the table to provide input and expertise as the city struggles with reduced staffing levels. He says it's a crucial time in the community.
Many of their people are doing 2 or 3 jobs, wearing several hats. We felt that rather than just sit back, complain, and criticize, we do have expertise in Dryden, in the business community, and other people who have a lot of experience that we could lend a hand to the city during these times as they start filling out some of these key positions.
The city will soon begin the work to find efficiencies through all departments and will also be working with the respective boards for the Public Library, Dryden Development Corporation, and Dryden Police Service. Dryden Mayor Craig Nuttall says the city is willing to take input from anybody willing to provide it.
I'm open to talk to anyone, and I think councillors are. I've met with Wabigoon First Nations 3 times, and as far as I'm concerned, Dryden's open for business, and we're open to have people come in and help us out in this difficult times.
Nuttall speaks highly of Bush, who represents the local business group, stating he played a key role in making the Domtar Mill a profitable operation. Bush says the group just wants to help get things set on the right path and views this as a positive step.
We're really not here as business people representing business interests. We're here because we're citizens, and citizens first and foremost. We love Dryden. We want Dryden to be successful, and we're not lobbying for a reduction in business taxes to the exclusion of other taxes. We're just here to offer our help with some of the expertise that the business community has.
With the 2014 budget process approaching, acting CAO Deborah Kincaid hopes to have the service review completed by mid-November. Jordan Mullaney, TBT News.
The Thunder Bay Regional Hospital will be bringing a report to City Council. They want to ban smoking on hospital grounds and hand out fines to anyone smoking on the property starting this October. For our question of the day, we asked residents if they agreed with the move and whether or not they thought it would work.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's going to be very difficult to enforce.
Why is that?
Well, they're going to need more staff. It's a big hospital. The grounds are really large, and depending on the mobility of the patients, they may find a place.
Well, I was a high school teacher, and we had a ban that limited people smoking anywhere on the school grounds. Never worked. Never worked. Smokers want to smoke, and that's what they're going to do.
Well, as a non-smoker, I believe with any ban on smoking, so yeah, I kind of agree with it, yeah. Well, I think they shouldn't ban it because like many people smoke, and plus they all have problems. So like they're sick. So what are you gonna do? Ban it from them? So they gotta smoke.
Yes, I agree with it. No, I don't think it'll work.
Why do you agree with it?
I mean, health and hospitals don't really align very well with smoking, in my opinion.
And I understand if you're running a business or something, you don't want people smoking in front of your doors or smoking outside in a cafe, but definitely not the hospital. A little too brutal. If you want to do that, then you should just ban smoking altogether.